Hello Astro van enthusiasts. Astro Safari GMC 1994 Astro van, which is my target audience for this project to replace my engine with a remanufactured engine from Powertrain products. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, 2024. It's around 9 a.m.
2024.
Thank you, Siri. Siri never wakes up when I want her to, but when I don't want her to, she talks. Hey Siri, what day of the week is it?
It's Wednesday, August 28th, 2024.
Okay. So, I need to goop up some, put some paste over the windshield because I want to stop the rain from coming in as a temporary repair until I get this windshield out and do the auto body repair myself, because I can't find a shop and that, you know, they want $3,500. This is crazy. So anyway, I'll probably take auto body repair at a Votech wherever I can. But I want to goop this up real good and stop the leaking for now. And I've done a little bit of that, but I need to do more. And of course I need to deal with this rust under the windshield too. But anyway, yesterday I got attacked by monsoon rains and gonna get it again today. And they said it's supposed to improve as the day goes on, so I might get some work done on this project today, I hope. But my inventory of tools is increasing because when I see a tool I don't have that I need, I get it. Like, this is real handy, this X Jet Tech with the, I don't know what you call that, a ratcheting, anyway, it's handy. And got it in 10 millimeter, 14 millimeter. I just ordered a 15 millimeter. A lot of these bolts are 9/16, and a 14 millimeter will work on that, at least to tighten it up, and then the final torque with the right size. And of course, this has some SAE bolts, and it has some metric. So it's a guessing game whenever you try to turn a bolt. But anyway, the spark plugs came in overnight. I saved $2 a spark plug by ordering online and shopping. So I'll put in the spark plugs today, I guess. CR43TS. And then, let's see, what else do I need to do? I'm going to work on the exhaust manifold because I got one bolt that won't go in. It's being real stubborn. And need to get out here with some upholstery cleaner for the leather and treat it nice. And they say leather, the sun is your friend, so sometimes it's good to take the seat out, put it in the sun, and give it a proper cleaning using the leather products. Yeah, these was very expensive to get these seats recovered, but the guy at the upholstery said, get some Ricardo seats and to hell with it. I said, yeah, but I like these seats with the captain chairs and all that. But then they threw away my electric base on me for the driver's seat. And don't worry about the ratty wiring and all. I'll clean everything up later. And everybody says, the dash. I said, yeah, okay, well. To fix the dash, you basically have to fabricate a new one and replace it. Because you can't fix this unless you grind it all down and do auto body repair to it, is what I've seen in the videos. So, and the dashboard is the last of my concerns. I need to have this van be a runner, and you know, where I can drive it with confidence long distances, which is why I went with the 5-year warranty on their Powertrain products. And I need to get the core back to them, so I need to get this running. I've got good oil pressure. Initially I had like 40 psi, and now I got 50. so I guess things are seeding a little bit. But I'm real happy so far, and it's taken me forever because of the rain and because of my age. Plus I'm not as organized as I need to be. So, but I'm getting organized, and I got avocados to pick, and they're falling on the ground, so I need this van so I can haul my produce to the packing house. And yesterday on the 27th, I went over my spare parts that I harvested from salvage yards over the years. And sometimes I don't put an ending on the video productions for each day, because either it rains or it gets too late. So, but if you fast forward to the end, you'll see my research photographs, if there are any for that day. And I try to change them from time to time, and eventually I'll do a big slideshow of all the part numbers and sizes. But I need to refine my research a little bit. Like the other day I mentioned the transmission bolts from Dorman, and I had to look that up, and it turned out they were M10 by 150, 15 millimeter long. So, but I had to write down the part number and then backward engineer it. So, but this van's given me real good service over the years, and they say, well, why do that? You know, you can buy another van. I said, yeah, but my wife and I, we shopped and shopped and shopped for this, and this is an LT, so this is the luxury touring, and it's got the rear air, and it's got the windows all around. You know, this is exactly what my wife and I shopped and wanted to buy in 1994, 2 years after Hurricane Andrew destroyed or heavily damaged our other vehicles. So I got to get some work done. Stop talking. So thanks for watching, audience. I will carry on to the next segment. Hello, Astro van, Safari van, GMC van enthusiasts. This is Dennis Sietsma. It's a Wednesday, August 28, 2024. It's 11:40 in the a.m. in Eastern Time. I'm in the Redland farming area northwest of Homestead, Florida, USA. And I'm trying to get the spark plugs installed today on my 1994 Chevy Astro van. And I have the factory service manuals. And I've looked up the specs for the spark plugs, and according to the manual, it's 45 thousandths gap, and I took some notes, and the prescribed gap is CR43TS, AC Delco Charlie Romeo 43 TS's. I don't know why they keep changing the part numbers on the spark plugs, but anyway, yesterday, in yesterday's video diary, video log, video production, this is a documentary. The bolts I used to attach the torque converter to the starter ring were Dorman part number 14040, and the specs, I looked them up, are a 10-1.5 times 15 millimeters, so that's a 10 millimeter bolt. The thread is 1.5 and it's 15 millimeter long, and it takes a 15 millimeter socket, and it was grade 9.8. I've got the label here, 9.2, but it was 9.8. Very hard steel is that grade. And I bought extra bolts, but I didn't need them. The torque converter only has 3, and I torqued them to spec. I think it said 46. The spec was 46 and foot-pounds, and I torqued it to 50. And again, it's video diary, August 28, 2024. It's 11:43 a.m. It's a Wednesday. And I try to do the timestamp at the beginning of every video because it helps me with the editing. And here in southeast Florida, I'm south of Miami, I'm north of Key Largo. We never know when we're going to get a hurricane. And it's raining today, so I can't get much work done on the van. And it's just light rain and misty coming and going. So today I'm going to gap the spark plugs. And I like to use a round gauge. And I'm going to prepare to check the starter clearance according to the instructions. And it says it takes 20 thousandths of an inch. A round gauge, and you have to, it shows it here, you have to slip it in between the tooth and the flywheel and get 20 thousandths, and if you don't have it, you're supposed to shim it, or it will prematurely wear. Now I don't know if I have that gauge, 20 thousandths of an inch. I might have it in a spark plug gauge, you know, but when I do spark plugs I use that gauge, or I use, my favorite gauge is not that one. Okay, it's not that tool. It's amazing how you can remember the tools you have in the toolbox. And what tools, at least I can. I don't know about other people, but it's a gift. God gives everybody different gifts. Oh, there's my favorite one. The one with the round. Yeah, I like the round gapper. Yeah. I don't know why I like this one better, but I just like that one better than the other ones. And we'll gap it to 45 thousandths and we'll go on to the next segment. But this morning I spent some time, I told you I have a lot of parts I keep for my Astro van, and I've been going to salvage yard for years and grabbing parts that I knew I'd need in the future, like this 1992 to 1995 CPI fuel injection. Apparently a lot of people knew how to work on this, but those people have either retired or gone to be with God, one way or the other. And I got more Astro van parts, and you know, so for that reason I have parts, and I have part numbers because they're stamped on the parts, and I'm going to take some photographs of that. But that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. I try to do this as quickly as possible, but still hit my talking points. Like, I'm going to install this. This connector goes bad at the air conditioner, and you lose your compressor. The compressor's fine. It just isn't getting power. So that's General Motors part number 12101937. And I'll take a photograph and add that to the production for today. But I need to replace that on this van because the one I have is sketchy. It's 30 years old. Unless I replaced it in the past and I don't remember. Here's what I wanted to show you. My starter switch. This is my emergency starter switch. This is my continuity tester. And if I had continuity, it would go beep, beep, beep. But it failed. So I got to buy another one of these because it don't work. And the continuity tester, if I had continuity with this stupid thing, it would beep. Let me pause the camera a minute. Okay, so this is a X-Tech. This is a Charlie Tango 20 is a part number. And I like this because when you're working alone, if you got continuity, it beeps. Well, is my continuity tester gone bad now? Oh man, I can't win. Continuity tester's gone bad. Holy moly. Huh. Well, I have another one. This one is toast. Alright, well, so much for the continuity test. Let me pause the camera, get my other continuity tester. I have several. Alright, well, I did have a continuity tester fail. I'll be darned. Anyway, this switch is no good either, because it isn't giving me a solid. Well, it is giving me a solid. I don't know, it didn't work under the car the other day, so I'll have to continue to evaluate it. But this continuity tester is humdinger, and it's affordable, and it's sold at most home centers or online. I think Home Depot has it in the electrical department, and so does, I don't know about Lowe's, but Home Depot does for sure. Alright, well, let's see. Other than the continuity tester and my rig up I had for bumping the starter during the torque converter, if I think anything else I need to talk about, we'll come back into the next segment. But I'm trying to mark everything up and what it does, and you know, so if I have to take this engine apart again in the future for some reason, and I hope I never do, I hope it just runs, but at least I'll have my stuff organized. So on to the next segment. Okay, I got it all gapped for 45. I couldn't use the other gauge because its maximum measurement was 40 thousandths, so I'm using this gauge that does both SAE and metric, and it's got a wire as a gauge in the benders. So this is it, got all 6 done. Now I was going to talk about and show you that device, that electronic thing for the back, but I've misplaced it. It's here somewhere and I'm confused what I did with it, so I'm going to forego that for now. We'll talk about that at a later date. But somebody needed that information, so I want to take a good picture of it. Audience, you're going to find this is ridiculous, but for the #1 spark plug on this 4.3 liter V6 Chevy engine, you have to do some crazy stuff to get to #1 on this 1994 Astro van. This is an RPO L35 engine remanufactured by Powertrain Products. So it's a 5/8 inch spark plug, standard size, but to get a normal socket on and off, you got to put a 13/16 deep well socket and either a ratchet here or run a extension bar, take off the right driver's side tire and run an extension to get to it. And this is ridiculous because once you get the plug in and this tightened down, I take the 13/16 deep well off, but now the socket is buried in there and I can't get my fingers in there to get the socket off unless I can get behind it with a screwdriver and pry it off somehow. Wiggle, 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 fuss and cuss, blood, sweat and tears, and this is with the engine taken without the front end on it. But to solve this problem, and I'm going to stop the camera because it's going to take a while to get that off, you need a super deep well socket for spark plugs for #1. The others, you don't have a problem. Let me pause the camera because this is too painful to watch. Okay, I had to resort to this to get that spark plug, this standard 5/8 inch standard spark plug socket. To get it off is a pain. And to get it on is a pain, and to tighten it and fit it and everything with a standard setup, you got to use, hang on a second while I stop the camera and reposition this, you got to resort to something like this, a 13/16 socket, and the spark plug has to have this kind of back end on it to get the wrench on it. And I have other spark plug wrenches and they don't do that, so it's a problem. I have to use this specific one like this for the #1 spark. What mechanical engineer did this? And when you say, yeah, put plugs in it, you have no idea how hard it is to mess around with #1 on this Chevy engine. There's a trick to it, post a comment. Now we'll do the rest of the plugs. They're not as hard as number 1, but I got new plugs, and I guess thanks for watching. Okay, I'm trying to install cylinder number 3, spark plug 1, 2, 3 on the port side, driver's side, and of course the socket is stuck again on the plug, so I got to get the vice grips and try to pull it off. Now if I had a better tool, and I ordered one, it hasn't arrived yet, I could do this a little easier with a real long deep well, because this port bank is a problem. But won't arrive until tonight, and I might have been better off putting the plugs in before I put the exhaust manifolds on, but you run the risk of breaking the porcelain on the spark plugs if you bump it, and there's enough grunting and swearing to put the manifolds on. But the reason I didn't put this in all assembled is I didn't trust the hoist I have as being strong enough. So I wanted to reduce all the minimum weight is what I was going for, which is why I did it this way, as to what you see on the car shows where, oh, it's magic, they just stab it in there. The car shows on TV, they don't show you the problems, this level of detail that you get into when you doing work yourself. And I don't recommend do-it-yourself work, because you can get hurt doing this. Do-it-yourself work can be dangerous. This is a documentary, not a how-to. So, thanks for watching. Okay, I had to resort to using these plier type vice grips. And if you don't have a pair of these, you'll find them real handy. I'd get a pair of vice grips, because that's the only way I could pull this dang socket off the plug on cylinders 3 and 5 on the port side, on the driver's side of this L35 RPO L35 4.3 liter V6 General Motors engine. And I said I had more room prior on the starboard than the port, but actually because of this pedestal here, we have more room on the port side. I'll show that to you again. You can see it. It's on a pedestal there off the frame, and on the starboard side, on the passenger side, it's right up against the frame with the motor mount. And why they have the drivetrain offset to the right a little bit, I'm not quite certain. I'm not a mechanical engineer. I'm an electronics and electrical engineer. So spark plugs are in on the port side. Now we'll move everything over, do the starboard side. And I'm not wearing my watch, so I don't know what time it is, but weather's improved a little bit, so I can do the plugs. And I got one bolt on this side, on the port side. I can't get in on the very front, but I'm not tightening all these exhaust manifold bolts until I get the spark plug shields in place, and then I'll worry about the last bolt. But you know, 11 out of 12 ain't bad, but I got to get all 12, obviously. Thanks for watching. We'll go on to the next segment. Okay, I'm under the van again on the passenger side, on the starboard side, and I've just installed the spark plug in the number 6 cylinder. Try to move that electrical cord out of the way so you can see it better, maybe. Anyway, yeah, you can see it now. But the number 6 had pretty much the same problem with the rest of them, and access was easier from underneath. But it took this this rig here with the standard socket with the short extension to reach and get the ratchet on it, tighten it to spec. But man, I can't wait for that new tool to come in, the extra deep, long 5/8 inch spark plug. And it's even got a wobble socket on it, so it'll be even nicer, I think. So I'll move on to cylinders 2 and 4, put those plugs in. And I can't work too late because they have the equine encephalitis virus and mosquitoes, and the 9 Isle something mosquito. It's in the northeast, but it'll be down here in a heartbeat. And I think I got bit by one of those mosquitoes years ago working in the Everglades, and I've been lethargic ever since. And I've been to all the doctors, and you know, they can't figure it out. But I got chronic fatigue sometimes, and I want to learn metalworking anyway. So, all right, audience, it's I don't know, it's 20 after 6 on Wednesday the 28th. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Can never get this stupid thing to wake up. Anyway, what day of the week is it, Siri? Hey Siri. It won't let me. Anyway, I got to research these bolts and get the right bolts for the exhaust manifold. And on cylinder number 4, I had the same problem. I had to use the 13/16 deep well and the traditional socket for spark plugs, the 5/8 inch. And of course it won't come off unless I do the vice grips trick on it. So I've got 5 out of 6 done. The last one will be cylinder number 2. And I hope I can get at that from the front easier than underneath or up top here. And I had to change my chip in the camera. I ran out of room on that chip, so hopefully we didn't lose too much. But for the next spark plug, I'm going to show you what I do here. I coat everything with silver Never Sees from Napa. If anything I might have to take apart in the future, I put this on, and in liberal amounts, but I don't get it on the tip, of course. I don't put it on the tip of the spark plug, I just put it on the threads. And I can't get that socket out, so I'm going to have to do the number 2 cylinder from the front with my fingers and hope I can do that. Otherwise I got to lay down the spark plug and then fight with the number 4 cylinder. Now it's interesting to note on this CPI system, cylinders 3 and 4 have a port from the lower plenum of the intake manifold. So if any gasoline pools in there, it goes into cylinders 3 and 4. So if those are running rich, that's an indication that you've got a problem with your fuel injection. So pay attention to the color of your spark plugs on cylinders 3 and 4 on this RPO L35. If it's a different RPO number, it's the throttle body injection, TBI, not CPI, which is central port injection or central multi-port injection. And on Rock Auto, the auto website, they don't call it either. They call it MFI. Isn't it nice when they got 3 names for the same thing? I hate it. Engineers, help me out here. Have one name for something. And gonna pause the camera. Alright, I almost got the number 2 installed. I got the socket with the vice grips off of number 4, and then number 2 just need to tighten up now and then try to get the socket off of it. So we'll do that. I'm going to try that from the front and see if I can do it with this 1/2 inch ratchet. See if it'll go on there without killing me. Gotta pause the camera. The inventor that came up with this release button on a ratchet for Craftsman tools, that guy was a genius. And I understood that they tried to cheat him. I think he won in the end with his patent, but it was a battle, just like every time when you're working on the company clock and the company materials and you invent something or even think of inventing it, they claim it. It was the same thing with Ford with the windshield wiper delay. And a friend of mine, he was working for AT&T when he was in the White House in the conference room with the president, Kennedy and Vice President Johnson, and they were trying to talk to the Russians during the missiles of October, and he invented the world's first speakerphone. When Lyndon Johnson got upset about passing the phone around the conference table, can't somebody come up with something so we can all talk like in a conference room? And my friend Gordon Jones Sr., he's passed away now, the late Gordon Jones Sr., I'm still friends with his son, he hobbled together a 401E speaker, which is very common. All the central offices had them back in the 60s. All the AT&T, all the telephone companies around the world had the 401E speaker. And he hooked up some batteries to it to make it run off 48 volts, and then he hobbled together a telephone operator's headset and a speaker, and next thing you know, we had a speakerphone in the White House conference room, and he got nothing for it, not even credit for inventing it. And AT&T grabbed it up, and after that it was their invention. So the late Gordon Jones, he might have saved World War III, with improved verbal communications. Who knows what might have happened. So the power of communication verbally, I wish I was better at it. Thanks for watching. Audience, Astro van fans, enthusiasts, Safari fans, GMC van fans, my target audience, I may have to quit for the day because we've got the East Nile virus spreading with mosquitoes, so they don't want us out here after dark. It hasn't come to South Florida yet, but all it takes is one heartbeat and it'll be here. Anyway, you see I've colored up with some fluorescent paint my timing marker, and I'll probably shoot some black paint around here and there at some point. But there's two marks, and I've got one marked orange for TDC, and the other mark is yellow fluorescent paint, which is down here. And I don't know what the other mark is for, so if somebody in the audience knows, please post a comment. But it's very confusing when you're setting the timing. That's why I find top dead center and I paint it up the right mark. But if I do continue, and I probably won't, it's real humid right now, and the mosquitoes will be out soon. They come out at night so the birds can't eat them, I guess. I'll be working more on the exhaust manifolds to get the correct bolts, and to do the spark plug shields. And then when I finish with that, then I'll move, probably put the transmission shield on underneath the van, and then move into working on the front of the engine and start hooking up sensors and electrical, and move towards actually trying to start it. And I got the fuel lines hooked up now, but I got the battery disconnected, which is the safest way to work on it. You don't want any sparks when you're trying to do something. Usually about the time you say, "Oh, almost got it," that's when something goes south. And I don't expect my audience to sit through every minute of these videos. You can fast forward to the end, see my research or the results. And if there's any good information in here, like I just showed you the timing marks, and that there's two timing marks and one is bogus, and how I painted mine up, give me a thumbs up, please. I like thumbs up. It gives me encouragement that somebody benefited from something that I said or did with this video. But I'm not doing this to make money. This is for fans, for the sport, for the aficionados, the Astro van fans, or people that want to restore old vans. And I'm quite attached to this one, although it needs a lot of love still. But I'll start with the engine, and then if we have transmission problems, we'll work on that. And as we go, I'll try to do body work and paint, and eventually we'll get to the interior and replace the carpets. And it may never be finished, but that's okay. It's at my age, I do the best I can and be happy with it. And God has blessed me with so many blessings I can't say. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the flip before I get much older. So audience, thank you for watching.